Alright, so I'm an Olympic nut, and I especially love watching Shaun White rock the snowboarding halfpipe, which got me thinking. There's 5 things youth pastors should learn from Shaun White. Number 1. Train in secret. Shaun White disappeared from normal circles while preparing for the Olympics. When we discovered where he went, it was this awesome halfpipe that Red Bull built for him in the midst of some isolated mountains. Here he trained in secret, preparing for the task at hand. If you're like me, alone time is not something that comes readily available, and all too often, it's my time in prayer that takes the brunt of that truth. Jesus reminds us that what we do in secret, that's what will affect the outcome in public. Matthew 5:5 and 6, he says, "And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues, on the street corners to be seen by men. I'll tell you the truth, they've received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." What that tells me in my world is, I better get on my knees in private during the week before I stand on that stage in public on a Wednesday night. So hey, train in secret, make it a priority, get with God in prayer for your ministry. Too often youth ministers are tagged as lazy, or having not been real ministers, and unfortunately, sometimes we deserve that. Which brings me to number 2. Go big. Look at this man's air. He's at least 10 feet higher than the rest of the dudes competing. And this is the Olympics. These guys are the best in the world. Shaun White always goes big. Now, I'm not saying that everything we do in ministry needs to be over the top or mega expensive, but we should definitely bring our A game every time. We should give it our all. Jesus was a perfect example of this truth. He brought his best every time. For example, when he had to feed 5,000 people using that little boy's lunch, he didn't make sure that each person had a couple of crackers and a sardine. It says, "And they all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over." Jesus did everything with excellence, gave everything his all, and that's exactly what we should be doing in every aspect of our lives and ministries. Go big. Number 3, push the limits. One of the most incredible things about Shaun White is he is constantly pushing the boundaries of what can be done on a snowboard. Things 4 years ago weren't even imaginable, he makes look easy. He's always thinking, dreaming, and trying what's unimaginable to most others. This is a huge challenge for those of us in ministry. While it's true there's nothing new under the sun, you could certainly do those things in a unique way. Try something different on Wednesday nights. Try an outreach event that you wouldn't have. Jesus was also constantly pushing the limits. In fact, he shattered them. He never fell into a routine of same-o, same-o. Take, for example, how he healed blind people. In Matthew 20, he heals 2 blind guys by merely touching their eyes. In Mark 10, he heals a guy simply by talking to him. And my favorite is in John 9. This lucky guy got Jesus' spit smeared in his eye. I can guarantee no one had thought about making spit mud as a tool for healing eye problems. And I can guarantee there are things you can do to push the limits and be even more successful in reaching teenagers for Jesus. Number 4, get back up. In January of 2010, Shaun White was competing in the 14th Winter X Games. During a practice run on the course's halfpipe, he went for his big new trick, the double McTwist, and landed just a bit short. Now, I don't know about you, but stubbing my toe on a step is enough to make me think twice about taking the steps again, much less slapping my head up against an icy ramp at speeds well beyond those that are sane. But not Shaun White. He went back up to the top during the contest, did that exact same trick, and stuck it, winning the gold medal in the process. Sadly, we're less like Shaun and more like my toe-stubbing self when it comes to trying something new. What we don't understand is it's okay to fall. In fact, to achieve something amazing, there's guaranteed to be many falls along the way. Take Peter, for example. When Jesus came walking to the disciples on the water, it was Peter who was willing to try something different. Now, granted, the end of Peter's water voyage wasn't exactly ideal. The first few steps were most likely amazing. And my guess is, given a second chance, Peter would have landed that trick. Falling isn't always bad. Lots of times it's a learning experience. Keep that in mind, and don't be afraid to try something just because you might fail. The next time, you just might stick it. Number 5, never miss an opportunity. I've seen Shaun White compete in several events, and lots of times, when the time comes for his final run, he's already won the contest. What's awesome about him is that he almost always brings his A game anyway. While lots of guys might hold back, be cautious, play it safe, Shaun never misses an opportunity to deliver. Take this run in the Vancouver Winter Games. He's already won the gold medal. He could do whatever he wants and it doesn't change that. And rather than play it cool, he breaks out the big trick that everyone's been waiting for. That's one of the reasons he's constantly changing the sport and inspiring others to greatness. We need to aspire to that kind of attitude. To never miss an opportunity, whether it's love on a student, meet a need, listen to someone who's hurting, or share Jesus. Jesus was an expert at this. One of my favorite Jesus never missing an opportunity moments is found in Luke 7. Soon afterward, Jesus went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went with him. As he approached the town gate, a dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother. She was a widow, and a large crowd from town was with her. And when the Lord saw her, his heart went out to her and said, "Don't cry." Then he went up and touched the coffin, and those carrying it stood still. He said, "Young man, I say to you, get up." The dead man got up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. Talk about never missing an opportunity. He saw that mother's need, stopped the funeral procession, and gave him back to his mother. Awesome. This is the example I'm talking about. Chances to love folks like Jesus come across our paths much more than we act on. Let's not coast safely down the course. Seize the opportunity to expand the kingdom and change the world. Alright, so what now? Where do we go from here? Now we suit up, strap in, train in secret, go big, push the limits, don't be afraid to fall, and never miss an opportunity.